Welcome to the mysterious realm of probability, where the impossible becomes possible, and the unexpected can be expected. As we move further into the future, the tools we use to understand probability are evolving at a breakneck pace. From quantum computing to machine learning, we're unlocking new ways to analyze data and predict the likelihood of future events. So, grab your crystal ball and get ready to peer into the future of probability. It's a wild ride. Can you imagine a world where everything is unpredictable and random? It would be utter chaos. Allow me to paint you a picture of such a world. Picture yourself driving down the highway without any traffic signs or signals. No speed limits, no yield signs, no stop signs, and certainly no roundabouts. You're left to fend for yourself as you navigate the roads with no idea what to expect. It's a terrifying thought, isn't it? Now imagine going to a casino without any odds or probabilities. You'd have no idea what games to play or how much to bet. You'd just be blindly throwing your money around, hoping to win big. In a world without probability, there would be no insurance companies because there would be no way to calculate risk. You'd have to take a leap of faith every time you made a decision. Should you go bungee jumping without knowing the probability of the cord snapping? It's a gamble you might not want to take. Even something as simple as flipping a coin would be a mystery. It could land on heads, tails, or even on its side. Who knows? Quantum mechanics. Sounds like something we discuss in our previous videos, isn't it? If you missed it, click on the link above to get to know more about it. Let's get back to topic. Let me assure you, it's not as complex as it sounds. In fact, I'll do my best to break it down for you with a little bit of humor thrown in for good measure. At the heart of quantum mechanics is the idea of uncertainty. That's right, uncertainty. The things we take for granted in our everyday lives, like knowing the position and momentum of an object, become uncertain at the quantum level. It's like trying to find your keys in a messy room. You can never be entirely sure where they are. Now, here's where probability comes into play. When we can't be entirely sure about the position or momentum of an object, we turn to probability to help us make predictions. We use probability to determine the likelihood of where the object might be or how it might behave. Okay, so that's the basics of quantum mechanics and probability. But, you might be wondering, what's the point? Well, quantum probability has some pretty amazing applications in the real world. For example, quantum mechanics is being used to develop new forms of cryptography that are virtually unbreakable. Instead of relying on mathematical algorithms that can be decoded, quantum cryptography uses the uncertainty principle to protect information. It's like a spy movie come to life. Quantum mechanics is also being used in finance to develop new models for predicting market trends. Instead of relying on traditional models that assume perfect information, quantum mechanics takes into account the uncertainty and unpredictability of the market. Machine learning algorithms, the magical genie in the tech world that can predict the future. But have you ever wondered how these algorithms actually work? It all comes down to probability, my friend. When we train a machine learning algorithm, we give it a dataset to learn from. The algorithm then uses probability to determine patterns and relationships within the data. It's like a game of connect the dots, but with a lot more data points. Once the algorithm has learned from the dataset, it can use probability to make predictions about new data. For example, if we give the algorithm a picture of a cat, it can use probability to determine the likelihood that the picture is indeed a cat out of many in a dataset. But, as with all things in life, there are potential drawbacks to using machine learning algorithms. For one, the algorithm is only as good as the data it learns from. If the dataset is biased or incomplete, the algorithm will make biased or incomplete predictions. It's like trying to bake a cake with half the ingredients missing. Another potential drawback is the black box nature of some algorithms. That is, we don't always understand how the algorithm arrived at its predictions. It's like having a friend who always knows the answer, but won't tell you how they got there. Despite these potential drawbacks, machine learning algorithms have some amazing benefits. For example, they can be used in healthcare to predict the likelihood of a patient developing a certain disease. They can also be used in finance to predict market trends, or in marketing to target ads to specific audiences. Let's now examine Bayesian networks. These networks use probability to represent complex relationships between variables, making them incredibly useful for prediction and decision-making. And the possibilities of what we can do with these networks are endless. Want to predict the likelihood of a customer buying a product? Or determine the risk factors for a certain disease? Bayesian networks have got you covered. Another emerging trend in probability is artificial intelligence, AI. AI uses machine learning algorithms to learn from data and make predictions about the future. And as we've discussed earlier, probability is at the heart of these algorithms. The potential applications of AI are truly mind-boggling. Imagine having a personal assistant that can predict your needs before you even know them yourself. Of course, with these emerging trends come some potential pitfalls. What happens when we start relying too heavily on AI to make decisions for us? Will we become too reliant on probability and lose our ability to make intuitive choices? And what about the ethical implications of using AI in decision-making? But let's not dwell on the negatives. The possibilities of Bayesian networks and AI are truly exciting. And who knows what other emerging trends in probability are just waiting to be discovered. Maybe probability will help us predict the next big trend before it even happens. Now, I want to hear from all of you. What do you think the future of probability holds? Will we see more advancements in Bayesian networks and AI? Or will a completely new trend emerge? Let's get those creative juices flowing and speculate on the exciting possibilities of probability. Alright, folks, we've covered a lot of ground today in our discussion of probability and the future. Let's summarize some of the key takeaways. Firstly, probability is not just a mathematical concept, it's a crucial tool for decision-making in our everyday lives. From predicting the weather to assessing risks in finance, probability helps us make informed choices and avoid chaos. We've also talked about how probability is constantly evolving, with emerging trends like Bayesian networks and artificial intelligence promising even more exciting possibilities for the future. But perhaps the most important takeaway is the need for a deep understanding of probability in order to navigate the complexities of our ever-changing world. By familiarizing ourselves with the principles of probability and keeping an open mind to emerging trends, we can make better decisions and create a brighter future for ourselves and for generations to come. And let's not forget to have a little fun along the way. Probability may seem like a daunting topic, but with a bit of humor and a light-hearted approach, we can make it accessible and even enjoyable. So, let's raise a glass to the fascinating world of probability, and all the possibilities that lie ahead. And remember, folks, when in doubt, always bet on probability.